very pleasant to meet all of you today. So, before we start our presentation, I would like to introduce myself and also my team member. So, myself is as the first presenter is Brenda Edward. The second presenter would be Hasnal Hadi, and the last presenter is Faris Shukor, who will conclude the whole presentation as well. So, next slide, please. I want so for to start all, I would like to start with all of you. Have you ever encountered this kind of question before in your past exam, SPM or SPM before? The questions goes like this. There are two kind of object which are feathers and coin. Both are held at the same height and released at the same time. So among these two objects, which one will fall first? And physics question usually ignore the air resistance to make the calculation easier. Obviously, when we saw this question for the first time, we would say that the coin will fall first because it's heavy. But actually, both of them will fall at the same time because they are the same gravitational force, which is the Earth gravity, apply on both of them. But let's say if we count in the air resistance, the coin will fall first, then the feather. The things I want to say here is that how physics is fascinating and fun as it happens all around us without us realizing it, and it has its own importance in our daily life. For example, let us take a simple phenomenon of how the bread falls upside down first, or how cats lands on its feet first. Most people will say that it's just a coincidence, but actually there are a simple physics law that happens behind this, which is the Murphy's law and the angular rotation momentum. So my team who pursue in physics course, which we would like to share with all of you how importance of physics in our daily life. We won't take much time from you. We just need 12 minutes of your life, and we just gonna present 4 points and 1 conclusion. So to start off with my point, which is weapon, I would like to talk about momentum. Momentum is related with the Newton's third law of motion, which states that every action has its own reaction, but happens in opposite way. So to start off, I know that maybe some of you have played PUBG or Free Fire before, and I know how frustrating it is to miss that one enemy due to the recoil of a gun. I know that in order to create a perfect gun, a calculation of momentum is needed to avoid or reduce the gun's recoil. For example, we can create a lighter bullets or create a heavier gun due to the conservation of momentum. So my second point for this weapon is about radioactive and nuclear reaction. So in order to create one atomic bomb, a knowledge is needed to create a perfect one and to avoid any fatalities. So how does it explode? So basically, needed two fusion between atoms of neutron and uranium. And when these two fuse together, it releases an energy which causes the explosion upon impact on the ground. What exactly happened after the explosion? So first of all, the shock wave, and the second is the thermal radiation, which lasts longer than the first one. The JF that I took for one is resemble the exact situation when during the World War II, how the American released their bomb at Nagasaki and Hiroshima and caused thousands of deaths due to the consequences of atomic bomb. So I would like to pass off my point to the second presenter, Hasnul Hadi.
Okay, next, I will explain to you guys about the importance of physics in transportation. One of important principle from physics that we use in transportation in our daily life is Bernoulli principle. Basically, all aircraft can fly because of Bernoulli effect, where it involves the understanding of pressure and force. For example, an aeroplane can fly after it moves forward horizontally on the land. This is because when the aeroplane moves forward, it will cause the pressure on top of the wing and the pressure of the below of the wing became different, and this difference of pressure will produce a force that will lift the aeroplane up. Another example beside aeroplane is helicopter, but helicopter does not need to move forward first like aeroplane because helicopter has its own special part that called rotor blade. This rotor blade will rotate very fast to produce the difference of pressure. This difference of pressure will produce a force to lift the helicopter up. Next is about the centripetal force. Centripetal force help us to move our car. Centripetal force is really important so that when we turn our car around, it will not slip to the other side. If centripetal force does not exist, just imagine if you drive a car on ice. I am very sure it will not be easy for us to drive the car because it will be so slippery since the centripetal force does not exist. Okay, next I will explain about the importance of physics in medical purpose. Firstly, about electromagnetic spectrum. Basically, electromagnetic spectrum has 7 electromagnetic waves. One of it is X-ray. X-ray are able to create image of the inside of our body, which is our bone. But how does the image of the bone created? Actually, X-ray are powerful enough to penetrate our skin, but it not powerful enough to penetrate our bone. So the bone will block the X-ray from go through it. So by blocking the X-ray, the silhouette of our bone created. So basically what we see when we do X-ray is our silhouette of our bone. But we need to make sure that we cannot do the X-ray process oftenly because X-ray is dangerous since it's ionizing radiation and it can cause harm to our body. Okay, next about microwave. Microwave also one of electromagnetic waves in electromagnetic spectrum. The simplest example of microwave that we use in our daily life is internet. Nowadays, there is a technology called 5G. 5G is believed can give us a really high speed of internet. With the help of this high speed of internet from 5G, it is believed in future we can do surgery from far away from expert doctor, no matter where the doctor and the patient come from, by using robot. Nowadays, robot already been used to do surgery, but it only can be done from a really short distance. Okay, next, the presentation will be continued by Faris.
Okay, thank you, Hadi. Okay, I'm going to explain a little bit about cooking. Since the early ages of humans, cooking becomes important part in human life. So, what is the relation between cooking and physics? So, the way we cook are important to make the food taste good. Therefore, we the crucial thing is the way we cooking something. When we are cooking something, we are heating up the ingredients together to make sure the chemical breakup are in the correct way. So, in that case, it's involving the heat and thermodynamics law in our life. For example, uh, a potato, which it seems easy to be cooked, however, it is important to know how to cook it in a better way. We need to cook the potato at a water temperature of 60 degrees that we make the starch granule, the starch granule of the potato melt and gelatinized, or we can simply call it delicious and creamy. So, in addition, as the world become more modernized with new technology, ideal gas law become the main objective of cooking. Ideal gas law has become more popular to the millennial generation because the way it cooks something. For example, the nozzle pressure cooker are helping to make the food cooking faster and much healthier. We can cook it sometimes without using cooking oil, and we can ensure the cooking period is shortened by the expansion of gas in specific state and space. That will become the main idea of this technology. Hence, the cooking period become more shorter. In conclusion, you can see the relation between the physics with our daily life. So, in order to understand the definition of life, we need first to understand what is the definition of physics. If we can solve our problems in daily life by understanding it. So I would like to end this presentation with a quote by Linear Howe. Physics is about questioning, studying, probing nature. You probe, if you're lucky enough, you get a strange clue. So that's all for me. That's all from us. Thank you.
Alright, thank you.